It's time for our weekly roundup where we take a look at the market, see how it's doing right now, as well as the top 10 stocks on Wall Street bets. And I'm going to give you a professional investor's opinion on all of these. Now, I am competing in the US Investing Championship, currently ranked 27th in my division. So let's take a look at the top. Let's start with the SPY. The market is not looking great at all. In fact, we are still within this downtrend. This downtrend started officially on February 12th, and it continues down so far, ending the weekend down here around 672. Now, I'm not one of those channels that'll give you all kinds of predictions. What I am going to tell you right now is when you use the outlier trend template, which is the 10 EMA, the 20 EMA, and the 50 EMA, I will show you direction. I can't show you duration. I can't show you magnitude. And I don't make predictions like those other bozos on YouTube. What I do is I only look at what is actually in front of me right now. And the trend has the 10 under the 20 and prices under the 50, like it has been, and it is starting to finally drift down. But listen, we're still at prices that we've seen since October. We've been drifting sideways, very volatile drifting sideways, but we're still at prices, the same prices as October. So that's actually the first one on the list right here. And let's jump into outlier. It's a 0 of 9, a 9 of 9 on the market. There's no possible way that I would invest in this market at all, period, full stop. Now, additionally, there's all kinds of geopolitical concerns going on, right? Oil is spiking like crazy. In fact, Friday, oil ended up, where is CL? Hang on a different list over here. Oil ended up over 12% on Friday. Is that the top? I don't know. You don't know either. And any YouTube guru who claims to know is also full of baloney. But what we can see right now is that trend template that I talked about earlier started and crossed over back here at $59. It's all the way up now at $92. So nearly doubled in that time. So in fact, let's measure this out. Where it crossed over all the way up to where it is today, 56% gain, 56% gain. Clearly, Chris doesn't know math. Okay. Let's start looking at these stocks, the top 10 stocks on Wall Street bets. We already talked about the S&P 500. But before we get into each one, let me set a 10-minute timer. Keep me on track here. Now, 40% of the move of all these stocks is going to be due to the market. 30% is due to the sector and 30% due to the stock itself. That's what we call the 40-30-30 rule. That is why you need to take a top-down approach, not a bottom-up approach. You don't find one stock and you're like, oh, it has to go up from here. No. What the market is doing, the sector's doing, and the stock is doing, those all work together. So let's look at market breadth before we get into our first stock over here. And we can see a sell-off has continued to happen. The number of sell signals is growing and growing, or the number of buy signals is evaporating. As well, the number of stocks with uptrends is going down very fast, and the number of stocks with downtrends is growing. So market breadth is looking super weak. But let's start here with USO. Okay, so USO got a buy signal in outlier on February 19th. That was my 40th birthday, USO. So let's go look at this. February 19th was right here. Now, USO has gone parabolic since that point. Gone up 35% since this outlier buy signal came through. Now, this has a beautiful big trend. The signal is a buy signal. The fear and greed is growing, of course. And then the outlier blocks, there is one up here. It's got some room up to it. That's why it's still showing green. Now, USO tracks the oil. It's the oil ETF. So while it does have some things going on in the sector, right? I wouldn't apply the sector to oil itself. And that's why I'm trying to focus in on just this one right here. And oil is going to move independently from the market. We all know that, especially because of what's going on in Iran right now. So USO is on a huge run lately with that buy signal pushing through right there. Let's go to the next one on the list. Nvidia is ruining people's dreams, right? You remember not all that long ago, just a few months ago, it felt like Nvidia only went up, right? Nvidia only goes up. AI is the future, bro. And it's gone sideways. It's literally the exact same price as it was in July of last year. It has gone sideways. And so for a lot of people, they're super pissed with Nvidia. Why can't you just go back up, right? Well, the deal is that all stocks are bad and only every once in a while they act right. It's not acting right now. So how do we determine if it is acting right? Well, first, we need to have the market working for us. Second, the sector. Now, the fear and greed in the sector is actually waning, getting more greedy, less fearful. And breadth has crossed over. So we're getting more buy signals than sell signals in the sector. However, the stock has a bearish trend. It's sitting on a sell signal. The fear and greed is getting more fearful, but it does have a little bit of room. In fact, there are no overhead order blocks right now. So this would give us a score of 3 of 9. Now, because it's a score of 3 of 9, there's no possible way I'd be investing in this, not even with your money. But there are some stocks that do look pretty great. USO looked pretty great. Nvidia doesn't. But DTE, the next one on the list right here, this one absolutely looks great. Buy signal came through on January 15th, and it's just run. It's just run. It's just been like, all right, bye. DTE, January 15th. Right here. Okay. So since January 15th, and it's just come right up into this order block right here. So that could have a lot of overhead resistance. It's currently up 18% since that buy signal came through. And it's still looking good on the stock itself. However, the utility sector is not lighting up. The market's not lighting up. So it's got a 4 of 9. Now, when you find a stock like this, as great as this is, you've got to keep your risk in check because we don't know where that stock is going to stop going up. But in the meantime, let it run. Figure out where that stop is. And once it gets there, get out of the way. In fact, for me personally, this would be where I got out. And the reason I say that is because linked down below for absolutely no cost whatsoever, you can get access to my trading plan, as well as every trade that I'm putting on this year in the US Investing Championship. They're linked down below. Absolutely no obligation, no nothing. You click it, you got it. Let's go to the next one. After DTE was Micron. Micron had a huge move not all that long ago where that buy signal came through and sell signal, but it's sitting on a sell signal right now, and it's getting more and more and more fearful. It's lost its greedy edge. And now it's been getting more and more fearful. Let's go to Micron. All right, Micron. Yeah, there's where that buy to sell signal came through at the 38% gain. And we're back to prices from mid-January right now in mid-March, right? Now, a close here with the 10 under the 20, price under the 50 means that this is now in a bearish trend. Micron is now in a bearish trend. So if you hold Micron, just be aware you're not moving the direction that you want to see. How are we doing on time? We still got 5 minutes. Perfect. We got lots of time. Let's go to Marvell Technology. This one really peaked up lately. What's going on with Marvell? You tell me in the chat because I don't know. I don't pay attention to news. But we do have a little news segment over here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is actually what the news segment is, or the news feature is built for. Now you can see that there is a bunch of positive news coming out about Marvell. What is that news? I don't know. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to expand this. They're going to see Jim Cramer. Oh, no, that's not good. It's going down. Analysts boost their forecast on Marvell Technology. Marvell CEO, demand for our products continues to accelerate. Confidence mirrors Nvidia growth story. Upgraded at Bank of America. So there's a lot of good positive things going on for Marvell. But MRVL, but that may not be enough to overcome this downtrend right here. That may not be enough. Now, it did pop up today for sure, but what I want you to do is run what's called a gap and crap versus gap and go. Put a line on the bottom of this candle right here, 83.29. If it closes underneath this point in the next 3 days, consider that a gap and crap, get out of the way. If it does not close under it and it runs, that's where I'm interested. That's where I'm interested. Let me show you an example of a gap and crap. Meta, after earnings, gapped up, crap right back down to where it was. Let me show you of a gap and go, AT&T. Let me zoom out just a little bit. This is a gap where it gapped up, and then AT&T, it did pull back a little bit, but not underneath that gap candle, and it ran like crazy. So Marvell, put on your chart this gap and crap criteria and follow it. Make sure that it doesn't work against you. Let's go on to the next one. Oracle right here. Another big spike up in news going on. What's going on with Oracle? Or RCL. Okay. Earnings announcement came through. So looking at Oracle, in fact, we can go over to the sentiment indicator over here. I kind of want to start using this guy. This is pretty cool. You can see the neutral, positive, and bearish news. Yeah, Oracle's been like selling off for ages, since October. Since October, Oracle's been selling off. Oh, man. Hold on just a cotton pick a minute here. That's where the sell signal came through. So Oracle has fallen how much? 50%. Jeez Louise. So I'm rounding a little bit. Oracle's fallen 50%. Now, listen, I don't want you to take trades where they're crashing down, right? You want to be buying the dip. I'm sorry. No, you don't. You don't want to be buying the dip because you don't know how far it can dip. This is a perfect example. You want to be buying the rip because you don't know how high it can rip, right? It's the same logic here, but don't get stuck on the wrong side by buying the dip when you don't know how far it's going to dip. You want to buy the rip because you don't know how high it's going to rip. And you also want to get access to outliers so you don't miss this 50% down move going against you. I would imagine the 82 cents a day for outlier will definitely more than pay for how much you would have lost in Oracle. Let's keep going. Palantir actually had a really nice bottom come through with a buy signal that just popped as well. It got so fearful, but then the Iran war started and people are getting way more greedy. People are getting way more greedy in the sector. So it's turning around, and Palantir actually has a buy signal in place. So be on the lookout. Watch for Palantir. Next, Microsoft. Microsoft, come on. Are you serious? I've been talking about Microsoft for anybody who'd listen. This stock has been just in a total garbage, terrible stage 4 decline for a minute. This is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, right? Has it hit a bottom? Maybe, but it's got a lot of damage to undo. In fact, since the sell signal came right up here, the sell signal out of outlier, it fell by 25%. Now it's only down 20%. I don't want that to happen to you. You've got to pay attention. All stocks are bad, and every once in a while they act right. And even Microsoft is a bad stock. I'm almost out of time. I might go a little bit long today. I hope that's okay. Tesla, sell signal. Everything looks terrible. I am a Tesla car owner. I own a Model Y Performance, but I don't own Tesla stock. And right now it's getting worse and worse by the minute. How about gold? Okay. Listen, I am going to go a little long because gold, we definitely got to talk about. A lot of people thought gold would just like run like crazy with this Iran war going on. And it definitely has started to push up a little bit, right? You got a bullish trend going on. You got a buy signal going on, but the fear and greed is just not there. People aren't as greedy in gold as they were just a couple of months ago. So I don't know if gold has a lot of legs here. And then silver, right? There was gold. We can't talk about, where's gold? There's gold. We can't talk about gold without talking about silver. Oh, there's my time. I'm sorry. I'm going to go a little bit long. I only got 2 more after this. Silver, not looking so hot. Not looking so hot at all. Sitting on a sell signal and really just struggling. Silver's just struggling. It had its day. It had its move, but I don't know if it's going to happen again. And any YouTuber that you see putting out videos like, I know the future of silver and I know the future of metals is full of hogwash. Okay. Absolutely full of hogwash. They don't know bull crap. But I do know SoFi is the future of finance. SoFi bros unite. If you're a SoFi bro, put SoFi bro in the chat. And I got to tell you, I'm sorry. Because SoFi is not on the top 10 list, but I always love to pick on it because I've been screaming for a minute that it is in a stage 4 nasty downtrend. And the sell signal that's been in place, it's down 36%. Down 36% at this point. You don't have to have that. In fact, let me rant for just a moment here, right? If you are one of these people where you're like, oh, I'm a long-term investor, that's fine. You can be a long-term investor, but invest as it's going up and then get out of the way as it's going down and then repeat. But the taxes, bro, the taxes are going to work against me. Forget about the taxes. When you're making money, you are great to pay taxes, right? Think about it this way. Do you want to get a promotion at your job? Sure. Yeah, that sounds great. But you're going to have to pay more taxes for it. You know what? No, that promotion, I'm not interested anymore. Would you really act that way? You'd be like, you know what? That is a consequence of making more money. I'm going to pay taxes. Don't make excuses, right? Make money in the markets. And you do it by buying stocks when they're acting right and getting out of the way when they stop acting right. We can't talk about SoFi without talking about Robinhood. SoFi's biggest competitor, in my opinion. And of course, I know I'm wrong. Go ahead and tell me in the chat just how wrong I am. It's really funny to see the SoFi bros, how aggressive they are. Dude, Robinhood is down 42% since that sell signal come through, right? Listen, I want you to be a successful trader. You're not going to be successful as an investor, as a trader, by holding stocks with a 42% decline against you, right? Just on the other side of this, in the stage 2 uptrend, the big exciting part, it went up 220%. Robinhood went up 220% all the way up before the moving averages crossed back over. That is what you're after, okay? You're after these big, beautiful moves. And then when they stop, you get out of the way. That is what this channel is here to help you with. So if you're ready to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, click one of these 2 videos. And if you've watched this far, do me a favor. We will like and hype the video. It really honestly does make a difference when you like and hype. And I will see you very, very soon.